Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha that we are having, and today we will be discussing about the Srimad Bhagavatam Mahatmaya. So this is the third session that we are having, and in the last two sessions we have already discussed some very important pastimes about the Mahatmaya. So thank you very much for joining on YouTube, and those who have joined on YouTube, you can please say Hare Krishna so that we know that you have joined. But before we begin, let us all chant the pranam mantras. Okay, to Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, His Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and my beloved spiritual master. Let us chant the pranam mantras, and all of you kindly join your palms. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's also chant the pranam mantras before we start the Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirahe Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagvat Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna. Yes. We also have Lakshmi Mataji joining us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. We also have Achyutanji joining on stream here. Thank you very much for joining.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, in the previous session, we had discussed very interesting pastime about how Narad Muni, he had conducted or organized a very beautiful Bhagavata Sapta. And that Bhagavad Sapta went on for 7 days under the direction and guidance of Sanat Kumara. We all know that this was all conducted because Narad Muni was very eager to re-establish bhakti, jnana, and vairagya. We understood that how it was so difficult for Bhakti Devi, who had these two sons, Jnana and Vairagya, who had completely become weak and old, and she was young because now she had reached Vrindavan. So this is actually our case, that most of the people, they have bhakti in their heart, but jnana and vairagya are not much. So in the initial stages of Krishna consciousness and spirituality, some people have that little komala bhakti, and jnana and vairagya is not there. So anytime when there is a challenge, when there is a problem in life, because there is no jnana and a vairagya, they have become too old, bhakti also fades away. Bhakti is sobbing all the time. So this is our condition. So that is why it is very important that we have to revive jnana and vairagya. In fact, when there is a jnana, bhakti flourishes. So this was the intention, and we also saw that how Narad Muni, he tries his best by chanting the Vedas, the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita into the years of jnana and vairagya, but unfortunately, it so happens that Jnana Vairagya, they become conscious and later they again fell unconscious. And then Narad Muni gets at Akashvani, he goes to Badrikashrama, there he meets the Kumaras and then organizes the Bhagavatam in Ananda in Haridwara, and 7 days non-stop there is Bhagavad Katha and great rishis have assembled there. And in Haridwara there is this discussion happening. And Jnana Vairagya Bhakti, who were actually on the banks of Yamuna, just by you know listening to the Bhagavad Katha which was happening there in Ganga, bank of Ganga, they started traveling, and in the process, actually, they become young. And by the time they reach Haridwara, Ananda Kshetra, Jnana and Vairagya, they are fully revived. They are so energetic, so beautiful. And then Krishna himself appears and says that I am non different from Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Krishna also has said that anyone who listens to Srimad Bhagavatam will ensure, he will ensure that the bhakti will flourish in their heart along with jnana and vairagya. So, the advantage of Srimad Bhagavatam is when you listen to it, bhakti will definitely flourish along with jnana and vairagya. Knowledge will come and detachment will come. Knowledge of the spiritual world and detachment from the material world. This both will happen. Very powerful Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said, even one verse, if you chant, you will get so much of benefit. Forget about one half verse, not even half verse. If you read just one line of one pada, every shloka has the 4 lines. There are 4 padas. So if you read one pada, even just one line of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is enough to take away so much of sins from our life. Very, very powerful. Many times people like to chant Gayatri Mantra and they chant Gayatri Mantra for 1,000. They take a vow that, okay, I need to chant Gayatri Mantra 1,000 times. Now imagine chanting Gayatri Mantra 1,000 times, it will take at least 3 to 4 hours. Now, or sometimes even more. So it is said that if you have some emergency now, okay, you have to go to the temple, you have to do some other work, you are not able to chant Gayatri Mantra, then just chant Gayatri Mantra and you just read one sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is equivalent of chanting 1,000 Gayatri Mantra. That is so powerful. So Gayatri Mantra is powerful, but Srimad Bhagavatam is even more powerful. So powerful. That's why the very first verse also is very, very, is almost same or equal or more powerful than the of Srimad Bhagavatam is more powerful than the Gayatri Mantra. Hmm? Very important. So just a little background to what we had discussed earlier. We know that in the past, in the last session, uh, Krishnananda also had asked, "What is the chronology?" And I was just going through, and I also heard that how Srimad Bhagavatam, when Parikshit was there before Shukadev Goswami, Kali Yuga had already started. Huh? It was already started when Duryodhana had left. And as long as Krishna was there, nothing happened. And as long as Yudhishthira and Bhima, everybody was ruling, nothing happened. But Kali was there. But when Parikshit Maharaj, he became the king, then 30 years, after Kali Yuga actually became very active, after the Pandavas left, when Krishna left, uh, 30 years after Krishna left, when Kali Yuga was in progress too much, that is when this Parikshit heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukadev Goswami. And 260 years later, in the Kali Yuga, when Kali Yuga was 260 years, that is when this event happened. Srimad Bhagavatam, organized by Narad Muni, that happened. This is mentioned in the Padma Purana. Very, very important. And now, what we are going to state or understand today's this thing is today's pastime is it happened 30 years before Narada Muni heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Sanat Kumara. That is 230 years in Kali Yuga. So this is a very beautiful pastime, and we need to understand this. Okay. So anyone who hears Srimad Bhagavatam with faith, Krishna says, will get bhakti, jnana, vairagya in their heart. He will reside in their heart. So jnana and vairagya will automatically lose their old age and become very young. Right now, in our case, Jnana and Vairagya within us has become very old. Now it is reviving because last 4 5 years, so much of Bhagavad Gita we have heard. It has gone, it has at least become conscious. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam, when we hear, it is now going to flourish. It's going to become even more younger and strong. With Bhagavad Gita, it has awakened. So, like Narada Muni spoke Bhagavad Gita, they became awake. Conscious ho gaya, unconscious state se. So that has happened to us also. Now they will become very strong with Bhagavatam. Okay. And we have to hear Bhagavatam in such a way that we will be able to explain it to others. With that much attention, we should listen to Bhagavatam, not simply listen and then go away. No, we should listen in such a way that tomorrow, when somebody asks us, okay, not even ask, we should be so enthusiastic that today, oh, I heard this Bhagavatam, immediately, instead of talking about something else, make a call to your friends, your neighbors, or anybody who comes. So just talk to them about Bhagavad Katha, what you have heard, these stories about Bhagavatam. Even if they have heard it before, you need to still speak about this Bhagavatam. Very important. Okay, so this is how it is, that Bhagavatam is such a fruit. It's a fruit which has a peel, but the peel is also very sweet. There is no seed in this. Every fruit you take, there will be some seeds, but it's a seedless fruit of the Vedas. Bhagavatam is like that. And if you eat the peel is also very sweet. So that is Bhagavatam, and that is what we are relishing. But why we are actually understanding the Bhagavad Mahatmya is because you are entering into a subject matter which is so glorious, right? And before we enter and understand the glorious state of Bhagavatam, we should understand how already who have heard Bhagavatam, what benefit they have got. So this is the idea of Mahatmaya, which explains the importance of Bhagavatam. Huh? So, and every tasty item, it should be shared. Anything good, sweet, or any good thing that you have, it's better that you always share with others. Why we have to share? Because Bhagavatam should not be heard alone. It should be heard in a group of people. Similarly, any good thing that you have got to eat, oh, nice sweets, prasadam or anything like that, you should share with others. Now, if we don't share any good thing, then Shastra said we will go to a loka called Krimi Bhojana Loka. Krimi Bhojana, people will go there and they'll be eaten by insects because you have not shared all the good things that you had. So Bhagavatam is like that. You have something good with you, immediately share with others so that you will all be free from all the sinful activities. Huh? So wonderful it is. Bhagavatam, it is called Preta Pida Vinashini. That is what we are going to discuss today. How even a ghost can be liberated by listening to Bhagavad Gita. This is the subject matter of today. Okay, so let us enter into today's pastime. Very beautiful pastime, actually. So, what happens is when Sanat Kumara is explaining this Bhagavad Gita to all the rishis, great people around in Ananda in Haridwara, now there is an excitement that is created. Okay, let me add Dev also. Yeah, thank you, Dev. Hare Krishna. Okay. So now, Sanat Kumara has beautifully explained the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna has come, Jnana Bhakti Vairagya has come. They all have revived. They are very, very happy. We got to know that Krishna is not different from Srimad Bhagavatam. All this is done. And then Sanat Kumara goes on to explain about the different sinful reactions which can be eliminated by just listening to Bhagavatam. There is a big list, okay? And then he takes on this one very specific story, a pastime, which happened just 30 years before Sanat Kumara was speaking on this dais in Haridwara. So this is a very recent story that Sanat Kumara is explaining to all the audience there now. He says, okay, just 30 years before this incident happened, and I want to share the glory of Bhagavatam by telling you about this story. Oh, this is very nice. So he goes on to tell that Ekada, once upon a time. Now there was a Brahmana called Atmadeva living on the banks of Tungabhadra. In the southern India, there is Tungabhadra, and on the banks there was this very devout Brahmana. Atmadeva had studied all Vedas. He had done lot of study in terms of deity worship, Everything that is mentioned in the Karma Kanda, he knows. Mantra chanting, very beautiful, very devout person. And always, whatever he got through alms, he was not making any business. But he was such a Brahmana, just by conducting all the rituals and everything, he had got good, sufficient amount of wealth. And he was very well respected in that village, that little town that he was staying in. Very wonderful, Atmadeva was. And he was married to Dhunduli. Now, this Dhunduli had two good qualities. What is that? One is she was coming from a very rich background, very uh, rich family background, and she was very beautiful looking. Huh? So, this was the two qualities. Rest everything was bad. What do I mean? Rest everything bad? Bad means this Dhunduli was constantly looking for wrongs in Atmadeva. Always gossiping, always talking something nonsense. Huh? Always she had this tendency to dominate over the husband. Huh? Always taking into a dharmic way of life. She was very proud of her beauty, wealth that she had. So she would constantly do all things that she should not do as a wife. Okay, this was her nature. Just ignore the background noise. But just imagine a devout Brahmana who is so dedicated to his spiritual life, huh, his daily activities, and has a wife like this. Now, days passed by, years passed by. Unfortunately, Atmadeva and Dhunduli had no children. And now Atmadeva, he thought, okay, oh, I should actually do a lot of puja, havan, punuskara, charity. So he started doing a lot of different varieties of puja. He used to call Brahmanas, although he himself was a Brahmana, he would call different people Brahmanas and perform a lot of yagnas, havanas, and all these things. But there was no result. Then he was told, okay, let's do some charity. So he gave charity gold and plots and whatnot, everything, big, big things he gave in charity to all the people. Just give me 2 minutes. Yeah, sorry for the disturbance that was there. So, this Atmadeva was doing a lot of activities just to see that, okay, I'll get a son. Many times when there are no children, what is a home without that noises of children? When children cry, they make a lot of these noises. That home looks like very alive. But here he has a wife and but still no children, and he's very disappointed. And he tried for years, different ways, charity, dana, havana, everything he tried, but there was no result. And he was so dejected one day, this Atmadeva. There was a tank bund, small lake kind of a thing in his town. He went there and he thought, okay, what am I doing? My life is waste. He was thinking this way and very dejected. He was sitting, he was having this thought, what should I do next? He was about to almost commit suicide. He was getting those suicidal thoughts. And that is when a sannyasi comes in. And he looks at the sannyasi, immediately falls at the feet of the sannyasi and says, oh my lord, please bless me. I'm very dejected. Sannyasi says, go, what happened? Why are you so dejected? I have been trying to get a son, a child, but so many years, in spite of all that I have done, I don't have a child. So this was his condition. Huh? Very difficult situation that he was. Without children, you can understand his situation. And then he started explaining, I think it was my ill fate that even if a cow comes and I have a cow at my home, even that cow does not give birth to a child. If I put some vegetables in my home, even those vegetables don't grow. Even if I do so much of charity and everything, all that good thing that I have done, even that will not give me a result. I have so ill fated. My fate is so ill that I don't get any good results. Then he says, please bless me with a child. So this sannyasi, he's a sannyasi. He says, see, you have come to a stage now. With this, you have to get this realization that why not, you just become detached from all these material desires and just focus on your spiritual life. Develop your viveka. Viveka means buddhi, your spiritual buddhi, and take a right direction in your life. So that's a great thing that you can do. He says, no, no, this sannyasi life is not for me. How can somebody be a sannyasi, not having a child, not having all these family? It is so, yeah, even a sannyasi will not be happy with this. So basically, he was trying to downgrade the level of a sannyasi. And this sannyasi got to know that this person will not actually listen to me. Let me look into it. So, with his divine vision, this sannyasi, he understands that Atmadeva has no child. According to his karma, he is not supposed to get a child. He tells Atmadeva that your fate, your destiny doesn't award you any child. Forget about this lifetime. For the next 7 life, you don't have a child. Atmadeva started crying. He said, no, you please do something. With your divine powers, you please bless me with a child. I want to have a child. If you don't, then I will commit suicide. So, he became very adamant. And looking at this state, this sannyasi says, see, whenever we try to get something which is not destined, we will get into problem. And this is not my statement, it is a statement from Prahlad Maharaja. So Prahlad also says the same thing. If you try to get something which is not your quota, you try to take something other than your quota, you will get into problem, you will get into trouble. And many times, this is learning for us also. Please try to understand. We sometimes hold on to some material things very strongly. Our attachments to some material things are so strong that we don't want to give up. Now, if it has to come, it will come. According to its, if it's there in your karma, it will come. And that's why devotee means he will accept everything that comes as per in accordance. He will not force himself to acquire, that selfish desire to control over things or get something. He will not do anything of this sort. He's very clear in mind. If Lord wills, I'll get it. This is the nature of a devotee. So now, if we don't do that, even in the Vedas, it is called Rita. Rita means there is a balance always. There is a balance between good, bad. Huh? So when we act as per that balance, Shrita, as per the balance in the nature, as per the balance in our own life, karma, we will be very smooth. Our life will be very smooth. We will lead a very dharmic life. Whenever we go out of balance, that is when we invite problems. And now Atmadeva, he was trying to alter the destiny uh, by asking for something which is inappropriate. So he went and asked, and okay, if I don't give, then this person will commit suicide. So the sannyasi thought, okay, I'll bless him with a child. So he takes a fruit and chants some mantra and hands over that fruit to Atmadeva. And he tells that please ensure that you give this to your wife, and your wife needs to follow a certain tapasya. She should not gossip, she should chant the holy name, she should maintain cleanliness, no bad thoughts. All these instructions were given to Atmadeva, and then he gave the fruit to Atmadeva. Atmadeva took this very happily, went to his uh, wife, Dunduli, and this sannyasi disappeared, not to be seen again. And Atmadeva explains, oh, Dunduli, this is the fruit. You eat this fruit and you will beget a child. This is how you are going to become a mother. This is the fruit directly blessed by a sannyasi whom I met. So now she took the fruit and she accepted and told her husband that, okay, okay, I'll do. And Atmadeva was very happy now. But when she took this fruit, Dunduli, she started thinking, oh my God, what is this? If I eat this fruit, I'll become pregnant. Now she had this a problem. Like a modern woman, she was thinking that if I become pregnant, I don't want to get that baby bump. And if I get the baby bump, I look so ugly. Then there is so much of, nauseatic feeling I'll get. I'll sleep so much. My body will be disformed, and all these kind of negative, because she was so bodily conscious all the time. She lose her beauty, all these things because I'm going to get pregnant. So this was her thought. Now she was thinking that what to do, and she kept the fruit aside. She didn't eat it. and she was constantly thinking what to do. And she told her husband that I have eaten the fruit. Right then, the sister of Dunduli, she comes to her place, and then, right then, when she was so much in anxiety, what to do, she tells and explains everything to her sister. Now, her sister was even more crooked. When she heard all these things, she told, "Oh, Dunduli, don't worry. I am also right now pregnant and carrying a child. I'll give my child. But now the problem is I have to explain all these things to my husband. So, in order to make him happy, you need to give me some money." Just see. So, Dundari said, "Oh, all right, no problem. You take the money and you give me the child." Then, what to do with the fruit? So, the sister says that this fruit you give to the cow. You have a cow, you give it to the cow. So, she takes the fruit and gives it to the cow, and the cow eats it. And then somehow for 9 months, what drama she does. Dunduli, she puts whatever she puts, and then the baby bump is building up month on month, and he's also busy with his own preaching work and puja, punuskara. He's very happy that now my wife is pregnant. And somehow they cover up the whole thing, and then Dunduli's sister, she delivers a child in due course, and then she brings, and immediately the husband of that sister comes and delivers this baby to Dunduli. And then the news is spread across. Oh yes, Dunduli has now given birth to a baby boy, and Atmadeva is so happy, so very happy. All the villagers who had so much of respect for Atmadev, they all were blessing. Oh, after so long, finally, Atmadeva is blessed with a child. They were very, very happy, extremely happy. All the people, the villagers, and Atmadeva started giving charity and so much of uh, wealth, everything to people, Brahmanas, they came over there. Okay. And somehow Dhundri was also very happy now because she did not have to go through the process of pregnancy and all of that, delivery pain, all those things was not there for her. But the problem is who will feed the child? So somehow she convinced, uh, I'm not getting as much milk in my breast to feed the child. Can I keep my sister? Because recently she was also pregnant, but unfortunately there was a miscarriage and her child died. So can she feed? Let her stay in our home. And Atmadev was happy, no problem. Let her stay. Just see, to hide one lie, so many other lies we have to speak. So much of cover up. With all these anxiety, right? It's better to actually, she would have given a birth to the child. But now she has to cover up so much of drama, anxiety, ensure that everything is taken care of, minute details are taken care of. Not an easy. To cover up one life, so many things we have to do. Lot of stress is there in that. So that's why better speak the truth and be clear. Now see how much trouble. So finally, all this was going on very well, and the baby was born, and it was growing up. And 3 months after this child was born, Dunduli had kept this child's name as Dundukari. Dunduli, and she kept Dundukari. So this son who was born, his name was Dundukari. What is the meaning? I don't know right now, but it is very funny name, by the way, Dundukari. And 3 months after Dundukari was born, the cow which had eaten the fruit, it gave birth to a human child. Everybody was astonished. People from different villages started coming to have darshan of this child. So divine, very beautiful looking, very delicate, and so wonderful. And the speciality of this child is that this child has a ears of a cow, and that's why the Atmadeva, who had performed all the Jata Karma and other rituals for the child Dhundukari, he said, I myself will conduct all these rituals for this child. And he himself conducted all the rituals like Jata Karma, everything was done for Dhundukari, Gokarna. His name he kept as Namakarna was done by Atmadeva himself, and he kept the name as Gokarna. Why Gokarna? Because he had the ears of cow. That's why his name became Gokarna. His ears, whose ears are like a cow. And as they started growing up, both the children were growing up, and now the villagers and everybody was even more happy. Atmadeva, who had no children, now he has two children. You know, now Dundukari, was growing up, and he was growing up as an evil child. And this Gokarna, he was such a brilliant child, always studying, very meticulous, very clean. And this Dundukari, he was a child who was always unclean, never used to cut his hair, nails, always bringing all the obnoxious things into home. All the dead bodies, the bones, and everything. You would collect all such things and bring at home and keep them. And he was so short tempered. Yeah, little advice you give him, little try to make him understand, oh, you're doing something wrong, you shouldn't do it. And Dundukari would immediately blast with anger. So he was a very angry person. And there, this Gokarna was studying Shastra and becoming very learned. And as this Dundukari started growing, he became even more vicious. He would trouble everybody. All the villagers were fed up. Why? How he used to trouble? He would go and he would light fire to the homes of others. In the olden days, there used to be huts, and it was all made of this grass and haystack and all those things. And he would just go and light fire to the homes of others. He used to take little babies and put them into the wells. Any Shraddha Karma is happening, he used to go and tell, oh, you are committing Shastra, you are doing Shraddha Karma here. One more family member has died. Go and look at them. Go there. Take care of them. He used to tell lies like this. Any marriage is happening, he'll go and tell that, okay, somebody in your family has died. All such things. He used to always give trouble to people. And not just that, you would start associating with chandalas, the gundas and rowdies, and he had become like that. His all association was with chandalas. And lot of a pack of dogs were always with him. He used to carry some weapon all the time. This was the nature of Dundukari. He used to sell everything at home, play gambling, womanize, uh, go to the house of the prostitutes. He would do all such things. Whatever is mentioned in the scriptures as akarma, vikarma, he would do all those things. This was the nature of Dundukari. Very, very vicious person, person with full of wrongdoings. This is the nature of Dundukari. And it became so, just imagine Atmadeva's condition. He had no children, and now he has this child. He's so much suffering. Atmadeva, such a nice Brahmana, uh, now he has a son who is creating all the problems in society. Just imagine how he would have felt. A respectful man having a child like this, how much pain it is. All the respect is gone. So he was sobbing inside, and he thought, okay, let me again commit suicide, because he was so Dundukari, he wanted money because he wanted to enjoy with women. So he started selling all his valuable things at home, including the gold of his mother. And he came to such a stage that he started beating his own parents, Dhunduli and Atmadeva. So Atmadeva said, there is no point living such a life, because Gokarna is already gone for studies, higher studies, he's roaming around. So this Atmadeva thought again, let me go and commit suicide. And that is when Gokarna comes and says, my father, see, you have gone through a lot now. The first thing that you should know is you have to develop spiritual life. This attachment to son, family, wife, children, all these things you have experienced right now. And it has really not made you happy. At one point of time, you thought that actually you will become happy, but unfortunately, you see your situation today, you are not happy. So, my dear father, right now, you please give up everything. And now, you please take up to the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Huh? And this Srimad Bhagavatam will really help you. So Gokarna, when he tells this to Atmadeva, he remembers the words of the sannyasi. Oh, this is exactly what the sannyasi had told me. I wanted something which was not in my quota, and today I'm suffering because of that. So he took the words of Gokarna very seriously, his own son, and he started reading Bhagavatam. He was very happy. Now, slowly, he started getting detached. At the age of 60, he gave up all the attachment to his family, And he was so attached to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Krishna, he got absorbed. And just by contemplating on the stories of Krishna again and again, again and again, more and more, it so happened that Atmadeva left his body and he got a spiritual body because he was studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So he went to the spiritual world. Now the problem is here, Dunduli and Dundukari, who were still living in that home. And one day, it so happened that Dhundli was very badly insulted and hit by her own son, Dundukari. She said, "This is no point. I cannot take this. My husband is gone. He is not anymore with me. I cannot live with a son like this." So she went and jumped into the well and she committed suicide. Just look at this. Huh? And this Dundukari, who has no parents now, and Gokarna, his little brother, anyway, he's roaming around, so he's not staying in one place, so he's going on his Tirth Yatra all the time. This Dundukari now brings 5 prostitutes in his home and starts residing with them. Now, how can he maintain all these 5 prostitutes, these women? They have their own demands. So he will go, he will rob the travelers, the people who are on anywhere on the highways, anywhere he'll go and he'll take away all their wealth, and then he's maintaining all these 5 people. So one day it so happened that these 5 ladies, these prostitutes who were staying with Dundukari, they thought if this Dundukari gets caught by the king will not just punish this Dundukari, but he will also punish all of us, and we will also end up in jail or we will be killed by the king. So better we get rid of this Dundukari. So one night when this Dundukari came back home, they fed him nicely. Full food stuff, everything very nice, everything, and they made him sleep. And in the middle of the night when he was snoring, all these 5 ladies, they took rope and started binding his legs and hands and covered up his face. And he was very powerful. It took a lot of time to actually control him, but still somehow all these 5 ladies put together, they tied him up, and still when he was not giving up his life, they took hot coal and they put on his face, and that is when he died. Miserable death. And these 5 ladies, they took this dead body of Dundukari, and somewhere in one corner of that same home, in that compound which they had, they buried this fellow. And they started telling the people there that, okay, he has actually, Dundukari has gone to some other country to bring in a lot of wealth and accumulate wealth, so he's not here. And slowly they took everything that was there in that home, they divided among themselves, and they also vanished from that place. So now Dundukari is there in his own graveyard. After many, some months, this Gokarna comes back, and he understands the situation from others. So much of problem and trouble, and nobody is to be seen. He gets to know, he understands that, okay, looks like my father, mother, anyway, they have gone. Looks like my brother is also dead. So let me perform Shraddha. So he goes perform Shraddha in different Tirtha Sthala. He goes to even Gaya and performs Shraddha for this Dundukari, and comes back home, and he is nicely taking care of his own spiritual life. And one night, when he was in the same home, he sees a ghost. And this ghost is taking different forms, sometimes of a form of a ram, a buffalo, a tiger, and sometimes of human, different shapes. And he got to know, he's a very learned person. He was not scared. He got to know that this is a preta. This is a ghost which is being troubled, has performed a lot of wrong things. And then, out of compassion, he starts speaking to this ghost. And the ghost, Dundukari, he was in such a trouble. Many people think that, okay, let me commit suicide. Suicide is a solution for all the problems that they have in life. But that's the biggest mistake. Because when they commit suicide, all these people, when they commit suicide, they become ghosts. Why they become ghosts? Because they were supposed to live for 60 years, and at the age of 30, they committed suicide. The balance 30 years, which was actually given to them by the nature, they will remain as ghosts. So Dundukari's situation was such that his lifespan was still there, but then these five ladies killed him, and then he had to become a ghost. So he is living a ghostly life. Ghostly life is not so easy. You have so much of desires. There is thirst, there is hunger, but you have no body to fulfill. All the desires that you have. All that you can take is only the air. You can only live with the air in a ghostly form. So that was the situation of Dundukari. So much of heat, cold, everything is there. He's undergoing a lot of pain. And then Gokarna is speaking to this ghost. And this ghost is trying to speak. He's speaking, but he's not able to express with his words because nothing can be heard. He doesn't have a body. So through some sign language, he's trying to explain. So Gokarna, he takes some water, he starts chanting some mantras, he starts praying to the Lord, my Lord, please help me understand and communicate with this ghost. He takes the water and sprinkles on the ghost. And immediately the ghost starts speaking. And the ghost says, "Oh, my brother, I am none other than Dundukari, your elder brother. I have done so much of sinful reactions, so many of wrong things that I have done in my life, and that's why I become a ghost like this. And these are the five ladies, who actually killed me, and today I'm in this situation. Please help me." And then Gokarna is, thinking, "My dear brother, as I could uh, my intuition said that you are not no more in this physical body. I have actually gone and performed shraddha even in Gaya, but I'm still surprised that you have not got mukti. How is this?" Then this Dundukari says, "I understand that you have gone to Gaya, but my actions are so bad that even the shraddha of Gaya cannot really help me. Even if you go 100 times there to Gaya and perform Shraddha for me, I will not get rid of my sinful reactions." Then please suggest what should I do for you? When Gokarna asks, "I don't know." Then Gokarna prays, "Please stay here in the same place where you are and come back when I call because right now I don't have a solution. Please give me some time." So that is how Gokarna takes some time and then he starts early morning. Of course, he could not sleep. He's constantly thinking, how can I actually help my brother to get rid of this ghostly life? And then early morning, he goes to different people in the village and starts asking that, how can I help my brother? He's in a ghostly form. And nobody had a right answer. All these people who had heard Dharma Shastra, they could not really give a proper solution. But one thing they told is, see, Suryadev is actually the Sakshi of all the things that are happening in this world. So probably he is the one who can give you a solution for this. So Gokarna starts praying to the Surya Dev, looking into the Surya with naked eyes. It's not so easy. With the bare eyes, he starts looking at the Surya and starts praying to Surya Dev, please help me to get a solution for this. And Surya Dev, being very pleased with Gokarna, he gives him the solution. He appears in the form of Akashvani and tells him that you can actually help your brother by conducting Bhagavad Saptaha. Srimad Bhagavata Saptaha, you organize in your own place, in your own home, invite people and let them hear. And by this, you can help your brother to get rid of his ghostly life. Oh, wonderful. Gokarna became so excited. So immediately, he took the Diksha to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, and the news spread that this is what is happening, that Gokarna, in order to help his brother, who is in a ghostly form, is conducting Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So let us all assemble in Srimad Bhagavad Gita because Suryadeva has told that all people who will listen to Srimad Bhagavatam will get rid of sinful reactions. So everybody in the village started actually coming to this Bhagavad Saptava, and beautifully, everyone when they came, this Dundukari in the ghostly form, he also comes and he takes a shelter of a bamboo stick. Now, this bamboo stick had seven knots, granthis. The bamboo it's hollow, but there are some knots in between. So this particular bamboo stick had seven knots. And this Dundukari in the ghostly form, he took shelter of this bamboo stick. He started residing in this bamboo stick. And as Gokarna started explaining the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, everybody was relishing so much. And at the end of the first day, of the Srimad Bhagavatam Gatha, the first Granthi, it blasted. There was a rupture, and everybody could hear this sound. They were all astonished. Oh, how is this? In this one corner of the house, where in that hall where everybody was sitting, that bamboo stick, the first knot was ruptured. Everybody was astonished. Oh, they thought, oh, this is amazing. And slowly this news spread across, and people from different villages also started coming now, because they also got to know that there is something like this has happened. And the second day also, the second knot broke. The third rupture broke. So every day, one knot was getting blasted. Everybody was so happy. And finally, on the seventh day, the seventh knot also blasted. The seventh knot was gone. And when the seventh knot was also broken, this Dundukari, who was in a ghostly form, assumed a very beautiful form with all the ornaments, with the kirita, with the kundala. He looked so divine. And there was a spiritual airplane with the Vishnu Dutas, and they came and they started taking this Dundukari on the plane. And all these devatas, everybody had assembled there. Now, the people who all heard the Srimad Bhagavatam, they were also astonished to see all this is happening before their eyes. And then they told uh, Gokarna, Gokarna, see, this is partiality. You have organized this Bhagavad Sapta. How your brother Dundukari, was in a ghostly form, he got mukti, he got a spiritual plane, and he left in the spiritual plane. We were also participants, we were also here, but we did not get mukti. We didn't get any spiritual plane for us. Then Gokarna explains that actually, my brother Dundukari, when he was listening to the Bhagavad Gita, he also understood the philosophical background of the stories. And with full faith, he had a full faith that I will be protected by this Bhagavatam and I will get mukti by listening to Bhagavatam. He had full faith, and with that full faith, he was listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. All of you also had heard, but you did not have any faith. You were all hearing it with your own material desires. All of you had some or the other things. You wanted to get rid of your sins, you wanted to get rid of so many things, you wanted something otherwise. So each one of you had some material desires, and that is why you did not go. Ah, this is the problem. But now we want to go because we saw your brother going, we also want to go. Then what do we do? Gokarna says, let's do this Bhagavad Sapta again. So Bhagavad Sapta was immediately organized again for 7 more days, and all these people who had come before, they all came again. And they heard the Srimad Bhagavatam for another 7 days. And then, after the end of 7 days, all these people, they went back to the spiritual world, assuming their own spiritual forms. So this is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam. All of them, they got rid of their sinful reactions. Spiritual planes came and took all these people. So that is why when these two Bhagavad Saptas happened, from then there is this another parampara that has started called Proshtapadi Bhagavata. Bhagavad Sapta is for 7 days, and because during Gokarna, when Gokarna spoke it for 14 days, and now it so happened that it is called as Bhagavata, Proshtapati Bhagavata, conducting it for 15 days. So many people in South India, they also conduct Proshtapati Bhagavata for 15 days. So this is how Sanat Kumara explained this beautiful story. The benefits of actually listening to Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees is that we will get rid of all our reactions, sinful reactions. And if Srimad Bhagavatam heard beautifully with rapt attention, you will see jnana, bhakti, vairagya, everything will be established in our heart. We will see this Bhagavatam is going to transform our heart. There will be revolution in our heart, that revolution of bhakti which will be there in our heart. Very, very beautiful. So that is why this Srimad Bhagavatam should be taken very seriously with all of us. Shukadev Goswami explained that Srimad Bhagavatam is the tilaka. It's a tilaka of amongst all the Puranas. There are 18 Puranas, but out of 18 Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is the till at the topmost. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam should be taken very seriously. Please understand, every word, every story, pastime in the Srimad Bhagavatam has deep meanings. What we have discussed today is the idea that I'm giving through this glories of Srimad Bhagavatam through the stories. But from the next session onwards, we will actually dive into the uh, Bhagavatam in real. In the sense, of course, what we discussed is also non-different from Bhagavatam. The glories is as good as Srimad Bhagavatam. But now, what I mean is, we will try to understand the Srimad Bhagavatam, the verses after verses, of course, in the sense, not the full verses, but we will understand the stories connected to all these Srimad Bhagavatam kathas. Srimad Bhagavatam has so many things to explain. So we will understand the story, we will also understand the practical application of it. We will understand a lot of background is going to come. See, every story has a lot of background. So our whole intention will be to understand the background of each of these characters in the Srimad Bhagavatam, see how beautiful they have contributed to our Sanatan Dharma, the Vedic wisdom, and that way it will be very exciting. So each story is connected to another story, another story, another story. It's like a nested stories, a loop, a nested loop of stories, a story within a story, a story within a story. So a lot of things are there. We need to pay a lot of attention, and this is how Srimad Bhagavatam is going to create a lot of revolution in our heart, and we will all become very happy. So actually, there is no other thing that is required to become happy. Although we may talk of many other things, oh, this will make me happy, that knowledge will may make me happy. But ultimately, Srimad Bhagavatam, if understood and practiced properly, then happiness will flow automatically in our life. Any questions, anything that you want to ask, any doubts, please share. So, this is just a katha. We'll make it more interactive going forward. Anything that you want to ask.
Yeah, Prabhuji,
Yes, Mother.
uh, yeah, in between you mentioned how about the knots. So before that, the I could not hear. Audio had gone off by some
Oh,
reason. The
okay.
7 knots you said. What was that?
Yeah, so this Dundukari, who was in a ghostly form, so when Gokarna organized this Srimad Bhagavat Saptaha, this ghost came and resided in the bamboo. And that bamboo was in the same hall next to the Vyasasana, which was kept where Gokarna was speaking. So every day when Gokarna ended his session, immediately there would be a rupture in one of the knots. So there were 7 knots in this bamboo, and every day one knot was breaking. So there was a progress that was happening for this Dundukari. So he moved from one knot to another knot, one knot to another knot. And at the seventh day, this whole bamboo broke apart. And then this Dundukari, he assumed a very beautiful spiritual form. So for those 7 days, because he could not just simply roam around, he actually took shelter of the bamboo. So he was in that bamboo with 7 knots.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
So this is a very beautiful story of to basically help us understand the glory of Bhagavatam. That's why Preta Nivarana. If you're haunted with the ghost, immediately it'll go. In fact, Srimad Bhagavatam should be spoken during the Shraddha Karma. If somebody passes away at home, we have that Sutaka for 13 days or sometimes 15 days, 10 days. People have different this thing. But during that time, one is Garuda Purana people read. If not Garuda Purana, even Srimad Bhagavatam. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, it will be so amazing. The departed soul will get a lot of benefit. So Srimad Bhagavatam should be organized. When there is anybody who passes away in the family, we should not think that, oh, I
Very,
should not. Yes, yes. Yes, Krishnanda.
there is a connection between this person Gokarna and the place Gokarna, which is there in Karnataka. Right?
Yes, yes. That is how that place also uh, got a place of Gokarna because later on he went and resided there, Gokarna.
Yeah, Gokarna is a very important place in Karnataka,
Yes.
and there are a lot
Even
of
now,
caves and there's a Ram temple also there,
yes, there is
famous
Shiva
Ram
temple,
temple. Yeah.
Ram temple. So people go there to this place, Gokarna. Very, very. Actually,
Prabhuji,
that
in
place for.
our
Yes, go ahead, ma.
in our community, we do all the sanskaryas there only. So
Yes,
for for all my mother's things and all, or my uncle expired, my daddy had to go there and do it. Gokarna only we do the
yes,
karyas.
Koti Tirth is there. There's one place.
yes. So most people, especially the Shraddha Karma, many people, even from nearby places, they go to Gokarna because they cannot go to Gaya. So most people, instead of Gaya, they go to Gokarna only, and they perform all their last rites there in Gokarna.
I'm from that place.
Yes, you are from that place. Very blessed. That's why you become a devotee. Huh? Very good.
Huh? I don't know, but I was born there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So some
Yes,
effect
yes,
has come definitely because you were born there. Some effect has already come. So you have become a devotee. Your name is Krishnananda. So Krishna is also there. Ananda is also there. What more? And you are listening to Bhagavatam. Great, huh? So definitely some effect.
that is
So
also
this is
there.
the
So
beauty of
this
Srimad. Yes, go ahead.
Bhagavatam, why 7 days only? Is there any particular reason for 7 days?
This 7 days was actually started by Brahma himself. Okay, so Brahma, whenever he wanted to create, he would create, and when he becomes a little exhausted, he'll go back to Bhagavatam, listen for 7 days, rejuvenate himself, and again start creating. So, this Bhagavad Sapta culture started from Brahma himself, and then it is very. There is a glory of Srimad Bhagavatam also, which is mentioned by Shukadeva Goswami himself. Bhagavata Saptaha, how it should be organized. First day what should happen, till where they have to cover, second day where they have to cover, third day what has to be covered, fourth day what has to be covered, till seventh day what has to be covered. So this is a very very authorized way of doing. Bhagavad Saptaha is an authorized way of doing it. Even Sanat Kumara, he did Bhagavata Saptaha. Brahmaji would conduct Bhagavata Saptaha. So Bhagavad Saptaha is, and Proshtapadi after Gokarna's this thing, 15 days. That is also accepted. But what Prabhupada has done is Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Every day you take one sloka and every day you start speaking Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is an everyday thing for us. Early morning, we have to listen to Bhagavatam class. So it's a daily culture because Bhagavatam you can just instead of going through the stories, Prabhupada said you dive deeper into Bhagavatam and understand the philosophical aspects. So every day there is a discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's a real
All
big
the
revelation.
Dashavatars are there, na? All the
Yes,
10 Dashavatars is covered in Bhagavatam.
oh, Dasha Avatar and more. There are many other avatars also which are explained that we are going to, understand the different pastimes, the different avatars. There are so many things actually to explain. Bhagavatam is full of stories and stories and stories. Of course, a lot of philosophical background also will understand, but
But one should, hmm,
it is
but one
amazing
should not
story.
go to 10th canto, right? Immediately. One
No,
should
no,
not go
no,
to 10th canto. 10th image, we should not go to 10th canto immediately. We
no,
should
no.
go to one by one till
Yes,
9
that's
cantos.
that is the process. 10th canto, many professional Bhagavatam reciters, they will go to the 10th canto, but Prabhupada very much condemns that process. First, understand the philosophy, understand step one, step two, step three. Bhagavatam, canto by canto, we should go. And we will be broadly speaking about, touch upon the broad aspects of Bhagavatam in these sessions. Because verse after verse, it will take a lot of time. But we will understand the major, story, the background story, and then what we can learn from the stories. So this will be the objective of this learning of Srimad Bhagavatam in these sessions. Okay. So from next Sunday onward, next Saturday onwards, we will actually dive into the Bhagavatam from verse number 1. Okay. And we'll understand the background stories because so many things are there to explain. Okay. Very nice.
Dundukari and Gokarna are brothers, right? Brothers, same family.
Same family. Yes. Both family. Yeah.
Acha. But both were different in nature.
Very much.
One was pious and
Because
one was this.
Dundukari was born to Dunduli, and the sannyasi had actually told that she has to do tapasya and everything. First of all, she did not take the fruit, which was blessed, and she did not do. She herself was not very committed. Huh?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
all the tapasya was done by the cow, huh? And everything was
Hmm.
done by the cow, and the cow gave birth to such a beautiful child. Uh, so this is the beauty. Cow also is pregnant for 9 days, 9 months, 9 days, and humans also, or 9 months, 10 days is
So
the
this
full
can
pregnancy.
happen, right? In a same family, two opposite people will can be born.
Very much. Sometimes twins are born and twins are opposite. So it all depends on the individual karma. We all come up. That's why when a child is born, there is Atmaja, there is Pitraja, and there is Matraja. So when a male and female, that union happens, there are certain qualities which comes from the father. What comes from the father is the veins, the bones, the heart tissues. All these are contributions. Whatever we have in our body, like bones and the veins and the skull and all those things, are contributions from our father. The inner, the five senses, the soft tissues, the internal organs, these are all the contributions of the mother. Huh? So there is
Yeah.
a contribution from the father, there is a contribution from the mother. But Atmaja, Matraja, Pitraja, when the child comes, the Atmaja means the child itself comes with certain qualities. For example, the complexion, the height. These are not decided by the parents. Please understand. The
Mm.
complexion of the child is its own karma. The height is its own karma. And the qualities, the psychophysical nature that the child brings in, it's its own karma, Atmaja. So every individual is different. So when a child is born,
Mm.
what the mother and father is contributing in only the material aspects of it, but the mind is not given by the parents. The
Mm.
mind, the soul brings.
Mm.
So that is
Yes.
a lot of science is there behind this. Okay.
How about Vrindavan Yatra? Any
Yeah.
discussions
Let me
happen?
end the session on the YouTube. Let me end the session. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining. And we will again continue our discussion and dive into Srimad Bhagavatam next Saturday. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, brother.
Hare Krishna Dev.